Hello everyone and welcome to Lauren Loves Color. This is Lauren. I am here to share 2 new books by Color Questopia with you today. Please disregard the hands. I have been playing with some acrylic paint, which you will see. And so I'm excited to show you a flip through. Also, thank you to all of those who wished me well. I have been ill, but I am happy to say that antibiotics and steroids are wonderful. I am feeling much better. So hopefully that means that moving forward, you won't hear sniffling, sneezing, coughing, things from me. And so I'm excited to feel better, color again. And so let's just go ahead and get into it. Both of these books were sent to me for review from Color Questopia, so I do want to give the disclaimer and to thank them as well. I'm a huge fan of Color Questopia. I've worked with them for the past year. They've been lovely partners to work with, and they publish some of my absolute favorite color by number books. These are absolutely no exception. I want to just explain the similarities and differences between these 2 books. Of course, other than just the theme of the book being slightly different, there is also a difference in the number of images. This tattoo black background color by number is 30 images, and the stained glass color by number is 25. This is an expansion from kind of their standard 20 images that they used to include before. You will also notice, if you're not familiar with Color Questopia, they have a standardized color palette on the back of their books as well. Ooh, it looks like you even got acrylic paint on the back of my book. So there are 25 colors inside of each book, and it is standardized, so you can match your markers and carry that over from book to book. If you need help matching your markers, I do have down below in the description box a link to my link tree. You will then click on color charts, and that will take you to my color charts, and I have a tab in there for Color Questopia. So I have matches for all of the standard alcohol marker sets, and that should help you get started on your coloring journey inside of the Color Questopia books. So let's go ahead and take a peek inside. I did have an opportunity to complete a page in each book as well and thoroughly enjoyed it. So let's take a look and see what it's like. Of course, these are printed on standard Amazon color paper or coloring paper. The beginnings always start the same with just some tips and tricks for color by number, some of their email information, and then we go ahead and get into the images. Now, many of you are familiar with Color Questopia. They have their standardized color palette, and so therefore brown is always going to be 4, orange is always going to be 10, and they only include the numbers that you need for the image located on the right hand side. They do also have 2 different versions of this book. They have the black background version, which is what you're seeing right now, that features the black backing on each page, and the lines in between each area of the image are in black. They do also have a white background version. It's white pages and then white lines in between. Some people prefer that style. I prefer the black background style. That's really cute. And so that is what I usually get. So what's interesting about this tattoo book is that it really features just a large variety of different types of images. So even if you're not really big into tattoos, you don't have to think of this necessarily as just a tattoo book, but just a book that has a lot of different types of artwork in it, which is kind of cool. Like, some of these are kind of fierce looking. I mean, or if you need a tattoo idea, here you go. You've got a book and you can just go. I mean, wouldn't that be cool? I would, you know what? So I don't have a tattoo, but if I were to have a tattoo, I not only think would I get a tattoo, that's maybe like from a coloring book, but I would also get it to be color by number, so the numbers were in each of the spaces because of how much I love color by number. Don't tell my husband that. He would probably cringe at the thought of me getting a tattoo. But let me know, do you have a tattoo? Have you thought about getting a tattoo? Let me know in the comments below. Some of these are really simple. Like this one only has 3 colors in it, so that's really nice. You can color that up pretty quickly. Color Questopia's images are all pretty simple to color. That's a lot of colors actually for this page, but I bet you that's stunning with the tiger. And then here is the one that I did. So I don't know why, but I just thought the snake just jumped out at me. I mean, he's kind of like literally jumping off the page, and he didn't have very many colors. And I kind of thought when I looked at this page, I was like, a purple snake. I was like, that's pretty cool looking. And he's got like, you know, fire, flames, or lightning, or however you want to look at it, kind of coming off his body. And so this was the image that I did. So I laid down alcohol markers. My alcohol marker of choice are the CaliArt markers. I also use Copics, but really on this Amazon paper, CaliArts work the best. And so I used alcohol marker, and then I used, excuse me, I know I'm about to sneeze. Right after I told you that I was getting better, of course I'm going to sneeze in the middle of the video. Excuse me. So sorry. So, in this, I used alcohol marker, and then I used crayon to do some shading, all around the kind of flames here. I used a red and then an orange. And then I don't know how well you can see it, but I actually used some dual metallic gel pen, like on the scales of the snake to kind of make it pop off a little bit more and to kind of define the different scales. I used a jelly roll glaze, which kind of gives a glossy look on the tongue of the snake. Just some white gel pen down the scales. I want to use some black glossy black jelly roll glaze on the eyes. So, and I made my little snake guy, and I think he looks pretty cool. I'm super happy with him. So the one thing that I will tell you, and I will try to find a page that has it, is with the black background, there are a couple of areas in here where I can see kind of a faint black line, like maybe where, okay, so here's one. Let me see if I can get that on camera, if you guys are actually able to see it. Okay, so I want to point something out. So there was something that I did notice. I think when you use the black background, obviously there are places where there's just normally lines. Like, I don't know if you can faintly see, there's a gray line, kind of a gray outline line here where there really should be, or even like on these branches, you can kind of see it as well, where there would be like a stem that would connect each of these things. And because those stems in the white background version are black, they don't really show up well on the black background version. Now, that doesn't really bother me, and there are a couple ways you can fix that. You can take just a white, like opaque gel pen and draw the lines in there, or you can even use, you know, like a glitter gel pen of your choice and draw in the lines, or a metallic gel pen, or a colored gel pen, whatever you want to do. I mean, you can clearly see the definite lines there. I do just want to point that out. That was just one thing that I noticed in particular with this book with the black background. So those are all the pages. They give some nice bonus pages in the back. That's Sugar Skulls, Dazzling Patterns, Summer, which they came out with recently, Amazing Dogs. This is one of their older books. Dragon Fantasy, another older book as well. And then their color charts, which they now have in the back. They give you 2 and then a color testing page. Please leave them a review on Amazon, which is always appreciated for them, a blank page, and then the end of the book. So that is Tattoo Black Background. I, of course, will have this book, the stained glass book, in both the black and white background versions linked down below in the description box if you're interested. So this is the black background stained glass color by number for adults. This one features 25 images, so it's slightly less. This is interesting. The front cover actually has, yeah, you see how this one, kind of is a little bit plain. This is the tattoo book. The stained glass book actually has kind of an imprint of one of the images on the title page, which is kind of neat. Let's go ahead and get to the images since you've kind of seen the front. Now these images seem to take up more of the page. So even though you're only getting 25 images in here, I would say these definitely are slightly more complex than what you're seeing in the tattoo book. This, I bet, is stunning of this peacock. And this is nice, too, because, I mean, you also get a nice variety of images. We just saw some birds. There's a nautical theme, landscape. This one I almost did. I thought this was really cute. Kind of the butterflies in the window with flowers. So almost some exterior looks. My grandmother did stained glass, and so we have some pieces of stained glass at my parents' house that she made, and she still has some in her house, I believe, as well. Really, really stunning images. I'm a really big fan of this book. I just did a tag with my top 10 color by number books, and 2 of the Color Questopia books made it in there. And I bet you if I had to do that tag again, this one, I would not be surprised if it made it in my top 10. I really like this. Is really beautiful as well. I mean, this really looks kind of like a stained glass window. This is stunning, and it uses a nice variety of colors in each of the images from what I've noticed. So this one, again, it's kind of like you can just kind of pick up markers and just go. This is the front cover. I think it's the front cover. Is that the front cover image? Yeah, it's the front cover image. It's beautiful. I love this theme of stained glass. I love just like the mosaic stained glass look of color by number, and the fact that this one kind of leans into that, I think is even more amazing. A swan. Beautiful. Lots of flowers. And then this is the page that I did. So I did these cute fish. And what I used here again was I based this with Cali Art alcohol marker. I used some crayon to do some shading. I used some dual metallic on the scales of the fish. That's kind of hard to pick up a little bit. I don't know how well you can see that, but I did put just a little bit of detail on the scales of the fish. And then everything else I used, I think, was acrylic paint pens. So I used the Magic Fly acrylic paint pens. They come in a pack of 24 with a variety of colors. So I used white, I used this kind of light purple color, yellow, and a light blue. So I think that turned out really, really well. I like how it looks. I love the variety of colors that were used in this. It kind of looks like a little koi pond. And yeah, really happy with this. I think Color Questopia did a phenomenal job. And you can see that even though you color, the back of the page still looks pretty clean. I use alcohol markers. Of course, you want to use a blotter page in between, kind of, you know, underneath the page that you're coloring. I always do, because you can see this is what a blotter page ends up looking like after you have been coloring with alcohol markers. You can clearly see that it does bleed through, but use a blotter, a few blotter pages. I just use copy paper or old mail, or, you know, some people use cardstock, whatever you want to use. And then here's just the bonus pages in the back. This is their mandala book, which is a great book. Summer again. Dazzling Patterns again. Those are both very recent books by Color Questopia. Interior Design, which is one of my most absolute favorite Color Questopia books. This made my top 10 color by number books. Flowers and Gardens, very sentimental to me. This was the book I collaborated with them on for their color palette, which is their standardized color palette that you see in this book. Again, the custom color charts, and then you're going to see the color testing page, the leave a review on Amazon, and that is it. So those are the 2 books, Tattoo and Stained Glass Color by Number by Color Questopia. As I mentioned before, the information about both of these books in the white background version will also be listed down below in the description box if you're interested. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.